Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex and my channel name is Life with Alex. And so on Tea Tuesday, last week was my first Tea Tuesday, and I talked about a little bit about myself. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, but I'm going to do a book tag. And I wasn't tagged in this, but I thought it would be kind of fun. And I will tag two YouTubers that I think would have fun with this, and I would love to hear their views. So let's get started. Oh, and I'm not drinking tea. Next week I will drink tea, and this is what I'm drinking. I'm drinking my orange soda. It's like orange cream soda it's like a Coca-Cola thing. All right, so let's get to this. 1. What is an unpopular book opinion or preference that you have? So, I'm getting tired of the steamy science fiction novels. And they're series, and they're like 500 pages long, and they shouldn't be 500 pages long. I'm getting sick of the TikTok trend books that are not very good, and a lot of them are, when you break it down, they have abusive relationship elements to them. They're not healthy relationships. I am tired of it. I am tired of vampire stories and, you know, goblin stories and werewolf stories. I'm just sick of it. Like, I'm just tired of the series. 2. Has your changing taste over the years, and how? Yes. So when I first started reading, I really liked like predictable writers that I knew what was coming. I liked it was kind of like a safety blanket for me. Now I like the bestsellers, you know. Now that doesn't mean that if the book is not on the New York Times bestseller, I'm not going to read the book. That's not what it means. But it means that I tend to go toward the hot books, you know, of that moment, because they sound more interesting to me. However, I love a good, like, book that nobody's heard of, you know, but I tend to be more of, okay, so what is this book club reading? Or what is this person talking about? Or, oh, what's number 1 on the New York Times bestseller? Let me look at that up. I didn't used to be that way. What genre, so number 3 is, what genre do you read to get out of a book slump? Well, sometimes a romance, like a good, you know, a nice romance, or a thriller. So I really can't be like, oh, this is what I read. I read everything. I read thrillers. I read romance. I read fiction. I read memoirs. I read biographies. I don't really read self-help books. However, what I typically read when I have a slump is a romance or a thriller. And I don't have time to be in a reading slump because I read all the time. You know, I buy books all the time. I also have library books coming in all the time. I have things ready for me on and after, and Libby. I don't have time to get into a slump. But when I do, it's a thriller or a romance. 4. What are some of your automatic buy authors? Okay, so Jodi Picoult, Kristen Hanna, Matt Haig, Kristen Higgins, Elizabeth Gilbert, Emily Henry, Nora Roberts. I read a lot of books, and I follow a lot of authors. And so I like pre-ordering books. And there are times when I just don't care what the book is about because I love the author so much. Now, usually that works. Usually I don't care what that person has to write. However, sometimes I'm disappointed. You know what? I didn't like the last Jodi Picoult book, and that shocked me to my core because it had every element of a book that I would like if you looked it up. And I didn't like it. I was shocked that I didn't like it. So number 5, how many chances do you give an author before you won't try them again? So I give them 2 chances. So, okay, 3 technically because 1, you're reading them for the first time, but let's just say 2 after that. So, yeah, it was interesting. I filmed a video today that you'll see in a couple weeks, is that there is an author that I loved their first book. I adored it. And then their last 2 books that have come out have been awful. I mean, okay, some people might like it, but the books, in my opinion, were awful. And I was like, I have to let this person go. I might get it from the library, but I'm not going to pay money. I'm not going to pay money to read this person's book anymore because, to me, they're not good. And I will probably read the book from the library, maybe, but I'm not going to spend money on them, that author, because they're not worth it to me. 6, do you have anything you like to listen to while you read? So, I love to listen to audiobooks. That is my main way of reading. And while I love to read, I love to drink like a Coca-Cola with ice, or ice wine, or water. And I love to have a candle going, as you see. A funny thing about that candle holder is I found it at Goodwill. And I don't think it is a candle holder. I don't know what it's supposed to hold. And I just was like, I found it at Goodwill for like $1. And I was like, that would look good for videos, and it would look good in candles. So I have it as my candle thing right now. And I like it there. Anyways, going back to, I like to do or listen to. Yeah, so I like to do that. I love to read outside at night or in the daytime and have a candle, but at nighttime, I love surrounding myself with candles in the dark outside and just listen to a book. I think it's so romantic and so beautiful. I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do. Number seven. How far do you read before not finishing it? It depends. You know, if I'm reading the book like in print, I will say 100 pages. But let's just say I'm listening to an audiobook and I hate the audiobook reader. I will turn it off immediately. Thank goodness they let you preview things before you buy audiobooks and stuff, because there have been some readers where I have just said, oh my God. Like, there was a reader where I actually felt like he was talking through glass, and his vocal cords were being like ruined by glass. I mean, it was horrible. I had to stop listening to it. So I only got through maybe 2% of that book because I was just like, nope, not happening. And I write it down. So I write down audiobook readers that I love, and I will listen to them read the phone book. Then I also have a list of audiobooks readers that I hate. And yeah. So it depends on me, but I rarely don't finish books. I always finish books. Not always, but I mean, I think 9 out of 10 I will finish a book. For me, not finishing is something is I don't rarely do it. Not because I feel bad about the author's hard work and stuff. It's just because I just don't tend to run into books that I don't like. And if I don't like the book, I want to discuss why I don't like the book. And so for me to not finish it is me not being able to discuss it properly. So I rarely don't finish things. It has to be something that is really bad or just so boring that I would rather cut my throat, you know. Number 8. Do you ever find yourself making the same faces as the characters in the book? I don't think so. I mean, but I do sometimes scream out things like, oh my God, and what? And, you know, I exclaim things. Sometimes I swear, and I'm not going to swear on this channel because I want to keep it classy. No. You know, there were some books where I have just been like, what? Like Jodi Picoult's, Wish You Were Here. I jumped at one of the parts because I just thought, oh my God, what a twist. Or Jodi Picoult's Mad Honey. There's just certain books that I just have, you know, screamed. But that rarely happens, maybe once or twice a year. Number 9, rereading, yes, no, or depends. So I rarely reread things. Now, I will reread things if I, A, don't remember them, B, I read them in high school, I don't remember, or C, I just really loved that book and I want to read it again. But it rarely happens for me, and I'm lucky that I'm on Goodreads, and so I have about like 6 or 7 years worth of books that I have read, and I document all of them, and I write little reviews. And if I forget a book, I can be like, I think I read that book, and then I can go on Goodreads and say, yes, and these were my thoughts that I thought. So I'm lucky in that sense, but I rarely will reread a book. Now, I am tagging Patty, Life with Patty, and My Country Home and Kitchen, I think that's what her name is. And I will tag y'all in the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Next week, I am going to finally get out my grandmother's tea set. My grandmother had this beautiful tea set from England. It is gorgeous. She was British. If you had watched my last video, she was British, and she was just so proud of that tea set, and she gave it to me, and I never use it. I mean, I think I might have used it maybe 10 years ago, when she died, actually, and I love that tea set, but I never use it. It is so beautiful and so gorgeous. I'm a little scared of using it. I hope it doesn't break. I mean it won't, but it's so beautiful. My goodness, it's from like the 30s. It is simply stunning. I love it, but I never use it. So I'm gonna drink some tea out of it next week, I hope. Yeah, and then we'll have to think of a subject to talk about. Thank you for watching, and keep reading, keep safe, be kind to yourself and others. Enjoy the day.